Hey guys, are you planning to go to college in the fall? Or maybe you were planning to go to college in the fall, but you're really not sure whether you're gonna get to go or not? Well, either way, in this video, I'm gonna talk about colleges' announcements for resuming instruction in the fall of 2020. If you want to know who I am, my name is Brooke. I've been coaching SAT and ACT prep and working as an independent college consultant for over a decade and a half. We have an online course for the SAT and the ACT. It's a video-based course. It's got hours and hours and hours of video instruction, all the secrets that I share with my private students in the form of a video course. If you're on one of those video courses and COVID-19 has totally wrecked your test prep schedule and you weren't able to take the test when you wanted to take the test and you would like an extension on your course, you may qualify for a free extension depending on when your course expired. If you want to find out the terms of that, go to SupertutorTV.com, look for the banner at the top, and we'll give you more deets on that. You can email us and we can set you up because we want you guys to succeed. If you purchased our course, the whole goal is that you study for a test and then you succeed, not that you study into oblivion and then your test gets pushed 3 months and you can't study right before your test. That would suck. So we're here for you. Reach out to us. Go check out that banner on SupertutorTV.com if that applies to you. If you have a smaller budget for test prep and want to check out our books, those are available on Amazon.com, or you can go to SupertutorTV.com/books to learn more about our books. But if you don't have money for our math books or you don't have money for our online course, and you're like, Brooke, how do I keep in touch? Well, our mailing list is a great way. It's totally free. SupertutorTV.com/subscribe. We will keep you in the know. If we've got new fun videos, we'll occasionally send you a newsletter, and we'll try to keep you up to date with the latest news on college admissions and how COVID-19 impacts things and all of our latest YouTube videos, all that good stuff. Also, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and especially on YouTube. All you have to do is click subscribe, and that helps us and that helps you, and we just reached 200K recently. Woohoo! Thanks everybody who subscribes to us if you're a subscriber and you're watching this. And I really do think you guys, like, I have the best subscribers ever. Like, all of you guys out there, you're like super duper awesome. So I just want to let you know, all of you overachievers out there, I have so much respect for you. You're gonna be the leaders of tomorrow, and pat yourselves on the back. Okay, that aside, let's talk about colleges reopening. So colleges are announcing that they're reopening. Cool, kind of. But things aren't gonna look how they looked before. So what I'm gonna talk about first is some general trends in terms of like what % of colleges are opening up, not opening up, what we know so far. Obviously, all of this is set to change and everything is tentative right now. Every college that announces a policy is like, and by the way, we might have to steer in a different direction because we have no idea what's going on, COVID-19. So that's kind of the situation we're all in. But here's what they're preliminarily planning on in order to try to reopen, try to resume life, maybe not as normal, but life, and try to provide education to people and engage people's minds and create intellectual communities called colleges. The best place that I have found in doing some research to look up this stuff is there's a compilation of like what 965 colleges plan to do this coming fall from the Chronicle of Higher Education. So if you're going to college and you want to see what is my college doing, their list, which we'll link to in our blog. By the way, we almost always have a blog that goes with our videos. So if you want to read instead of watch, go check out our blog. And in that blog, I will link out to the Chronicle of Higher Education, and you guys can get to their really cool page that lists out all of the plans for colleges in the fall of 2020 and whether they plan to reopen and resume in-person teaching, whether they plan some sort of a hybrid model, planning for online, considering a range of options, or still undecided. And of those categories, we can go through right now kind of what their findings have been, and I'm going to qualify some of this. But about 65% of the 900 plus colleges they're tracking have responded that they plan to resume in-person teaching come fall, which to me was shocking because I was like, oh my gosh, 65% of colleges are just like, hey, we're back in session. But I think that that's not the most accurate way to describe what that 65% means, and I'm going to get into that in a second. Just to go over the other groups, 11% of colleges are proposing a hybrid model. Some of those colleges are colleges like Carnegie Mellon, Indiana University, Iowa State, NYU, Northwestern, Stanford, Berkeley, UCLA, some other schools on our list. And they've got lots more as well that you can check out on the website. So some big profile names. And what does hybrid mean? Hybrid means that they're going back to campus, but maybe not completely. For example, like Stanford is planning to add a quarter. So Stanford's on the quarter system. That means there's 4 quarters per year. We have fall, winter, spring, summer. And those 4 quarters, 3 of them usually are spent on campus doing academic work. And the 4th one, summer, is like free-for-all fun. You can take summer school, you can do something fun, you can go to Uganda, whatever floats your boat. So what they're doing is they're making that 4th summer quarter a legit quarter. So they're going to put a lot more coursework there. And the deal is you get to go to school in person 2 out of 4 of these quarters if you're a student at Stanford. And 1 out of 3 of the regular quarters that make up a full academic year, they will be online learning in some way. And the only thing they're guaranteeing is that freshmen get to go fall quarter so that all the freshmen get to be together and they get to meet each other, which I think is pretty cool. And then seniors get to go third quarter so that they get to be there for the graduating quarter, which I also think is probably a good idea because then they get to be together when they're graduating, even though apparently they're going to be socially distancing and they might not be able to talk to each other, or everybody in the dining hall might have to sit 6 feet apart. Not really sure yet. In any case, that's the game plan for the moment. Other things, we have a range of scenarios, which to me is actually probably kind of like a hybrid model, but it just means that they're a little bit more vague in their response right now. And schools that are planning to adopt, quote, a range of options that they're considering: Duke, Johns Hopkins, Dartmouth, Columbia, UC Santa Barbara, Tufts, UC Santa Cruz, Penn, University of Wisconsin-Madison. So also some like big name colleges that we're going to see on this list, the range of options list. A lot of these schools have actually announced similar policies to like what Stanford has announced. Columbia, for example, has announced that they're going to expand the academic calendar to summer 2021 to try to de-densify campus. So they definitely, if they do come back in the fall, are trying to like get fewer people on campus. Now, maybe they won't open in the fall. Maybe they'll open in the winter or in the spring. We don't know. But regardless, they're planning on adding that summer quarter. So same kind of idea as Stanford. 6% are waiting to decide. A lot of big Ivies we got on this: Yale, Princeton, University of Chicago, Amherst, MIT, Vassar, Villanova, Wellesley, Williams, Worcester Polytechnic. And there are a few that are planning for online, about 8%. Harvard made some headlines for that. Cal State, the entire Cal State system is going online. UC Irvine, University of Southern California, and UMass Boston are a few of the colleges that are planning for online. There's several others as well. So what I want to get into now is, what is life going to look like on a college campus come fall of 2020? Because it's not going to look like it looked fall of 2019. Adaptations, most schools are planning on limited class sizes. Almost every college is limiting in some way the number of people who are allowed to gather together at once. Many universities are proposing no large classes. Some say that's no more than 25. Some might say that's no more than 10. Some might say that's no more than 50, right? But mind you, if a classroom is filling with 50 people, we're not talking about 50 people in a classroom the size of your bedroom. We're talking about 50 people in a lecture hall that's built for 500. So like a very de-densified giant room with a lecture, right? 2, some campuses are also going to end at Thanksgiving. So as you probably know, and as I know, the time when most people get sick and the time when like flu season spikes is like after Thanksgiving, right? For like Thanksgiving and New Year's, like that's like total prime time for flu and sickness and illness and all that stuff. So colleges are planning to close for that period, a lot of colleges or several colleges. So that's one way that they're trying to prevent stuff. Penn, for example, said they're going to go online for that period. Stanford's just going to cut that piece out of the schedule, just nixing that whole part of the year. Like, let's just not meet during busy season for disease spread. Mandatory face coverings. Most schools are encouraging, if not requiring, face coverings while on campus. They're increasing cleanings and deep cleanings of surfaces. Everything's getting sanitized like crazy. They're also instituting like no tolerance policies for illness. If you have any symptoms, you're not allowed to go to class or you're not supposed to show up. Some have introduced the idea of academic support for ill students. They're going to have a much more generous policy in terms of sick days or missing class because they don't want to spread the virus. And if you happen to be an ill student or you have a confirmed COVID case, they then would be trying to provide academic support for you, trying to get you back on track, that kind of stuff. Other things that colleges are trying to work out: how to quarantine students when they do have COVID and how to test them, right? They're setting up systems so that they have a student health service that can test you for COVID, and they can also plan on how to quarantine you. Are they going to have a dorm on campus that's like the COVID dorm? We don't know. Are they going to quarantine you in your room and just not have density in the dormitories and not let you live in the same room with another person? We don't know what all colleges are doing, but certainly some colleges are saying, you know, when they're de-densifying like Stanford, they're not going to have any more than one person living within 4 walls at a time. For the most part, they're going to be giving everybody either singles or 2-room doubles where everybody has kind of their own little pod that's separated, so the disease hopefully doesn't spread as easily. So how do we quarantine them? Figuring out the quarantine plans. The other thing is meal service. They've got to figure out, how do we serve food to people, one, so we don't spread COVID-19, right? So everybody's like spaced out and socially distant. And how do we also feed people who have COVID if they get COVID while they're on campus? It's because like you don't have a kitchen. You can't just stock up your kitchen with a bunch of chicken noodle soup like I can at my house. But kids on campus aren't going to do that. They're going to have a meal plan. So they got to figure that out. Additionally, most colleges are looking to limit gatherings, visitors, and extracurricular activities. So expect to see a lot of extracurriculars completely cut from the community until further notice at some of these campuses, or limited to outdoor meetings only, or groups of no more than 10, or whatever it is. A lot of these campuses are instituting new policies, so get ready. And also limit student travel. You know, they might limit travel to certain regions or international countries or whatever it is, and require that students from those regions or areas do online learning or participate in other learning options they might have available. And finally, another move that some students are going to be subjected to is mandatory COVID testing on arrivals. So the other way that schools are trying to control this is they're trying to control maybe travel in and out of campus. So if students are coming into campus, they're going to have like an onboarding sort of process where they're going to survey you, they're going to ask you lots of questions, they're going to test you for COVID symptoms. They possibly might quarantine all students upon arrival or deliver food to your door, or we don't know how it's going to work, but they're going to try to quarantine people or like, you know, corner the virus if anybody gets on campus with it, and try to create kind of like a, you know, a no disease campus environment as much as possible. And then also I think colleges and universities are looking out for people who may be, you know, immunosuppressed or have issues, or faculty that may be at risk because of their age, and they're trying to find ways to promote distance learning when possible, even if the campus is opening up broadly. So there you go. It's going to be a whole new world come fall 2020 for what college looks like. If you are going to college and you know some of the funky plans that your college has in store and you want to share those, feel free to do so in the comments. I hope you guys like this video. If so, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Stay safe.